All right, Jesse on fire. Welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be one of those videos where I'm going to go alternate back and forth between two topics. So we're going to talk about Jon Jones getting an immediate title shot at heavyweight, which is the idea that Dana just floated. Okay, so that obviously circumvents Francis Ngannou, who 100% deserves a title shot, but we're going to talk about why that is potentially happening, even though Francis Ngannou is a huge draw. But we'll talk about that. And then we're also going to talk about Mayhem Miller, who just got arrested for a bunch of felonies. And the reason why I'm not smiling and making a bunch of jokes about his behavior is because I think this is a little bit more serious than that as it relates to his life. And it's not really a super laughing matter, as I'm going to jump into. But we're going to talk about it anyway. And this is Jesse on Fire. So this is going to be Jesse on serious. Jesse on super serious. Like, we're going to get serious. Serious. Do you like it serious? You like it serious? Idiot. Anyway, so if you like the content, though, subscribe and ring the bell, right? So just do that. Like, just do it. If you're seeing this for the first time, you're like, gosh, I can't tell if he's a valley girl or he's being super serious. Oh. Either way, pretty entertaining. So, all right. So let's talk about Jon Jones, because here is why it's utter horseshit for him to get an immediate title shot. Because Francis is the most deserving title shot guy ever. Okay? In case anybody's missed what's happened since he won on his little skid. So as a matter of fact, let's just rewind. Let's talk about Francis Ngannou's career, like, in the heavyweight division. Okay? So knockout, 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 knockout. Basically dead opponent, dead opponent, dead opponent, dead opponent, dead opponent, dead opponent, dead opponent. Oh, title shot against Stipe. Looks like the most inevitable thing ever. He's just going to have another dead opponent, even though, you know, Stipe, arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time. But now, looking at Francis, looks like feeding a lamb to the slaughter, doesn't it? Because Francis is a murder machine. He's a murder machine. And every single one of his opponents has ended up dead. Or at least sleeping, snoring, unconscious. Dead if they would have just unleashed this beast to just kind of, you know, on his victim, if they just let the fight go and he had a reason to be angry at the guy, right? So that's how it looked. And then Stipe wrestled him to the ground, tired him out, took some incredible shots, displayed one of the greatest chins like ever. Kind of unbelievable, the shots that he took and stayed awake. But he won. He won. And so, you know, like Francis was met with the mortality of his, you know, he's faced with his own mortality. It's like, I can lose. My God, I can lose. And then he went into the Derek Lewis fight totally right? And he just kind of stood there for 3 rounds, which was really bizarre. And I was like, oh man, please tell me that this didn't break Francis Ngannou's brain, right? Because that would be very disappointing, given that he is the most exciting heavyweight, like, ever, who knocks out everyone that he fights. That would be very sad if his brain is broken, right? But luckily, you know, after that fight, he was like, hey guys, I just want you guys to know, you know, I carried the fear from... You know, I'm not bad at impressions, okay? I just want to make this clear. I am not bad at impressions, but for some reason, whenever I'm on camera with you guys, when I start to do an impression or like an accent, like I do the accent of someone else. Like that sounded just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you guys missed where that was going to be a dead-on Schwarzenegger. But it was not going to sound like Francis Ngannou, which is why I cut myself off. But let's just do, you know, Arnold and pretend that we're Arnold for this, right? I want to know... I'm a fucking idiot. Oh, this is the worst video I've ever done, ever. Anyway, but yeah, he was gonna say, you know, listen, guys, I was really scared. I carried the fear. I carried the fear from my Stipe fight into my next fight. I apologize. It won't happen again. I have no idea what accent that is. But bottom line is, he said that he carried the fear from his Francis loss into his fight against Derek Lewis. It was the worst fight ever. And he's like, don't worry. Will never happen again. I'm back. And everyone was like, sure you're back. So they give him Curtis Blades, who he had already beat. But, you know, it's Curtis Blades. He's a wrestler, right? Like, He's a wrestler, which seems to be Francis's kryptonite, right? So it's like, geez, why are you gonna give him? Don't you want him to come back? And then, whoa, Curtis Blades dirt nap in 45 seconds. 45 seconds. I mean, that's like the Francis of old, right? That's the old Francis that just dirt naps everybody. Like, is he back? Is he back? Let's give him Cain Velasquez. Maybe the best wrestler in the history of the heavyweight division, right? Like, geez, like, do you guys not want him to win? Oh, Francis dirt naps Cain in 26 seconds. So, geez, maybe he really is back. 2-0 with two guys that didn't make it through a minute. Like, geez, like this, maybe he's back. I don't know. Let's give him someone real. Let's give him Junior Dos Santos because, you know, Junior Dos Santos, veteran of the game, killing machine. Oh, unconscious in 70 seconds. Wow. So he did. He made it through a minute. Congratulations, Junior Dos Santos. So of the last three top heavyweights, he's the only one to make it a minute. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see what he's got. Let's go Rosenstreich. This guy's undefeated. He's asking for Francis. Balls of steel. Asking for Francis. Let's give it to him. Let's see what he's got. Oh! First exchange. Unconscious in 20 seconds. Unconscious. Not knocked out like, you know, TKO. Unconscious knocked out. Okay? So Curtis Blades, TKO, like, I can't take it. Don't hit me anymore. Cain, Dos Santos, you know, technically was, you know, don't hit me anymore. And Rosenstreich was in another dimension. So, listen, in case anyone like doesn't remember this, let me just also throw this out there, okay? So this is the, you know, these are the fights that led up to his first go at it, right? Belal, so he lost a decision in his second fight, okay? So keep in mind, this guy didn't even want to be a mixed martial artist, right? He didn't even want to do mixed martial arts. But he lost a fight in his second fight. But, you know, I mean, at some point, it's like, all right, I guess I'll box. I mean, I'm not going to do boxing. I'll do mixed martial arts. So I'll start taking this seriously. Okay, Belal Tati, knocked out, unconscious in the first round. Next one. What? Nicholas Speck submitted with an arm triangle choke. Did someone say that Francis has jiu-jitsu? Then in the next one, he wins by submission again by guillotine choke. What? Also, first round. Then he beats William Bull Duty by TKO in the second round. Then he beats Luis Henrique de Barbosa de Oliveira, the longest name ever, and so he got knocked out in the second round. Then he fought Curtis Blades, and he got knocked out in the second round. This is obviously his opponent, not him. Then he fought Bohan Mihalovic, knocked out in the first round, 90 seconds in. Then he fights Anthony Hamilton, knocked out less than 2 minutes. Then he fights Andrei Arlovsky, knocked out in 90 seconds. Then he fights Alistair Overeem, knocked out in 90 seconds with the most devastating uppercut ever. And then that led us to Stipe Miocic, okay? So that's Francis. That's Francis's career. Then we went through the rest. So if anybody deserves a title shot right now, it's Francis, obviously, right? Because Jon Jones has this many fights at heavyweight. This guy has fought all of every single top heavyweight and has obliterated all of them. Do you guys honestly think that if he gets into a slug match with if him and Curtis Blades fight again, do you really think that Derek Lewis? If he gets into another fight with Derek Lewis, you guys gonna bet Derek Lewis? Or do you think it's a foregone conclusion that, I mean, I love the Black Beast, but we're talking about a different kind of dude here, right? Like, Francis is going to dirt nap Derek Lewis. Let's just take that for granted. So, only thing that's left is for him to fight for the title and become the most exciting heavyweight champion ever, right? But I will say this, Jon Jones versus Stipe, that's a big pay-per-view. And it's probably a bigger pay-per-view than Francis, right? So, I'm not naive to the game. Jon Jones is going to get that fight, most likely. Even though it's bullshit. So the question is, who do you feed Francis? You can't keep him on the shelf from May on. He knocked out Rosenstreich in May, right? He's due. Feed this man some food. Feed him someone. Who's it going to be? Right? He's got to eat somebody. Who's it going to be? I don't have a recommendation there because, I mean, the only fight that you could put in front of him if Jon Jones is seriously going to fight Stipe is is Derek Lewis, and I don't think anybody is super excited about that fight, to be honest with you, right? Like, am I forgetting someone? Is there like someone I'm forgetting? Curtis Blades? Think we've established who's going to win that fight since he's knocked him out twice. Daniel Cormier is not fighting, apparently. Well, he's still in the rankings. Whoa. DC's still in the rankings. He's not retired, apparently. So he apparently isn't officially retired if he's still in the rankings. So I think when the UFC says that Jon Jones gets an immediate title shot, that might be bait. Might be bait. Hey, DC, are you really going to retire? You're going to let Jon Jones fight Stipe and then invalidate the one thing that you have against him, right? That you beat Stipe and won the world title. You're going to give him that opportunity? Or how about you fight him? How about you fight him, DC, and you finish this thing once and for all? That when you guys are at heavyweight, when there's no rules and you're not cutting weight, you're the fucking man. How about that, DC? How about you do that, DC? Take it from Jon. Take it before he gets it. Don't even give him the opportunity to fight Stipe. Take him down, smash his face. Oh, he got up. Shikai! Back to 205. That was Daniel Cormier doing a Spider-Man jiu-jitsu. A Spider-Man kung fu. This is the stupidest video I've ever done, but maybe the best. Sometimes when I think I did really dumb videos, like throughout this video, I'm just going to tell you guys, throughout this entire video, I've been thinking in my mind that I should just like shut the camera off and then start over because it seems really stupid and I keep saying things that are really dumb. However, in other cases, when I've done the videos that are like, oh my God, I sound so stupid. Then I go watch it back. I'm like, this is fucking gold. So you just never know. You never know. So yeah, I mean, listen, here's what I'm going to say about this. I think Jon Jones should have to fight DC, and I think DC should stamp Jon Jones out. Stamp his heavyweight career out. And then let Francis win the heavyweight title off of Stipe. And we can put the stamp on Mix Molly's trilogy videos about Francis with a heavyweight title. Yep. All right, so now let's switch gear. Now we're going to talk serious for a minute, all right? We're going to get serious right now. We're going to talk about Mayhem Miller, okay? This is a sad story. So Mayhem Miller's only 39, okay? I know you would think he's like 100 years old, given that he hasn't fought in a long time and he's gotten arrested so many times. Generally, like, it takes a guy a long time to get, like, you know, to have his life fall apart completely, like, after he stops fighting. But Mayhem Miller's been not fighting for a long time. And I would say pretty, you know, without even having to ask, I think there's a substance abuse issue there. Look at me, okay? When I say substance abuse issue, you will never see me like do that like it's a funny thing, okay? I don't think that's funny. Like I have genuine empathy for guys going through that, but that is almost certainly what's going on because, okay, so he just got arrested for burglary and theft of property, but it turns out that he knows the person, so probably an ex-girlfriend or something like that who filed charges, whatever. But let me tell you what is sad about this, okay? So in September of 2019, he made this statement. It goes without saying that I was acting like a madman for a good stretch of my post-fight life, and I can't make excuses for my behavior, Miller wrote on his Facebook page. I can, however, explain that I was not in the right state of mind for a very long time, as evidenced by my constant war with law enforcement, destruction of public property, domestic disturbances, and evading. But eventually I was caught and forced to take a long look in the mirror. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to everyone that I negatively affected during the dark times, including my friends, family, law enforcement, and the cult. I don't know what that means. Whom I have abandoned for far too long. I'm sorry. Okay, so let me translate that for you guys. That is, I'm sober, and I haven't been sober in a really long time. And I am shocked by the things that I did, but now I'm realizing I am not that person. That is not me. That's me on drugs, okay? So that is a terrible feeling, I imagine, right? Like to come out of the other side and like kind of look back and just go, oh my God, like, it's like there was someone working the gears, right? Like someone was working the gears inside my body that literally was not me, like was not me. And you know what? Everybody knows that feeling. And you don't want to know why? Because everyone, not everyone, but lots of people, guys like to drink. Like everybody have a few drinks, okay? The difference is that you go have a few drinks, right? You get drunk and then you fall asleep. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, whoa, what was going on last night? They're like, dude, you don't remember yelling at that bartender over the second drink you ordered? Didn't have a cherry in it like you requested? You don't remember that? You don't remember out front when the bouncer asked for your ID and you were like, let me see your ID, bro. You don't remember that? You don't remember? Okay. Now, hopefully none of those things sound like things you would do, because they sure as hell don't sound like things I would do, except for the cherry in the drink. But, you know, I wouldn't think it was funny to ask for a bouncer's ID. I would know that's fucking lame. But I would ask for a drink that had cherry in it, because I have no shame in my game. I like fruit drinks. But imagine that, except imagine you were in that state of mind for, say, 8 years. Okay? 8 years. So, like, everything you did for 8 years was equivalent to the person at the bar who did some shit that your friends the next day were like, you embarrassed yourself last night. You're like, oh, don't even tell me. Don't even tell me. Right? Like, imagine every time you went to a business meeting, every time you went to work, every time you engaged with your wife, every time you talked to your kids or didn't talk to your kids, every time you did anything, you were that other person for 8 years. Okay? That is seriously what this is like. Right? And so you come out and you're like, it's never happening again. And this is why you should feel for people like this, because this is exactly what that's like. Literally, exactly what that's like. And then, right, they're sober for 3 weeks, a month, and they're like, man, I'm feeling great. Like, I feel good. And then they're like, fuck, man, I'm really bored tonight. Feeling really bored. And they're like, you know, I'm just gonna have a drink, man. Like one drink, like, come on. Like, have a drink, we'll watch a movie. It's fine, right? It's fine. And they have one drink, and then they wake up 8 years later. Okay? That is seriously what it's like to be wired for combat like this. Or wired for that. That's what it's like. So, when you hear that people have drug problems, okay, like, it's not like a funny thing. That's what it's like, okay? 8 fucking years. And then they go, oh my God, what did I do? They fight, stay sober. It's itching at them. And then the thing that gets them, you know, it's not like some whatever. They literally go, man, I'm super bored. I'm going to have a drink. They have one drink. And then they wake up 8 years later. And they've been drinking every day for 8 years. And then guess what? After that time, they last a few weeks. Same thing happens again. So, yeah, don't throw rocks at those people. It's a curse. It is a curse. But anyway, so I hope he gets better, and that's what I got. So subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, because guess what? I'm going to just bring you fire nonsense, and then I'm going to just kick some knowledge on you that'll just, here's how you should view people who have substance abuse issues, okay? So maybe you should think about it like that instead of being a self-righteous, judgmental jerk. Francis should get the title shot. DC should fight Jon Jones. No one should question that. Peace. Subscribe to the channel. Do it.